Lucha Libre is an incredible place for many reasons, and one of these reasons being the freshly debuted new Kemonito against Kemalito, which took place on Friday, November 15th, 2024 on CMLL's Viernes Espectacular. And if you've been following the Kemonito news, you'll know he has been absent from Arena Mexico for over a year now. To summarize, very briefly, the original Kemonito and CMLL had a falling out caused by a disagreement on who owned the rights to the Kemonito name and image. And there was a whole press conference about it with lawyers representing the original Kemonito and everything. There'd been some statements released here and there, but nothing really concrete that would indicate how the legal fight was going. Now, while this is going on, CMLL debuts an evil troublemaker version of Kemonito called Kemalito, and fans quickly accepted him. He's gotten pretty great reactions and become a staple in Arena Mexico, often hanging out with Templario or any of the other rudos. Well, on Friday, November 8th, during the main event, which featured the team of Místico, Atlantis Jr., and Máscara Dorada, against Anil de Oro, Hechicero, and Soberano Jr., Kemalito started to get heavily involved in the match. Then, out of literally nowhere, with absolutely no indication that this would happen, a familiar face appeared. A new Kemonito ran in to save the day. I was stunned, I was shocked, I was surprised. There were no dirt sheets that spoiled this, no aggregators that reported that a new Kemonito had been spotted in the building before the show, just pure surprise. And you know, sometimes CMLL will tease special appearances online, but this one went completely unmentioned before the show. The crowd was going wild, and CMLL got the reaction that they were looking for. One other little anecdote from the debut and further appearances is the legal notice that flashes on the screen every time Kemonito appears. It's a quick statement saying how the Kemonito name and image are the intellectual property of CMLL, and they have been since 2002. Now, the practice of debuting a new performer under an old name isn't new. Both CMLL and AAA have done this before, multiple times. Sometimes it is successful, and other times maybe not as much. Sometimes the crowd feels slighted, almost annoyed or betrayed that a promotion would put someone new under a mask that they had already grown familiar with. A prime example of this is Místico II, now known as Tralístico. This Místico never really reached the heights the first one did, and fans weren't completely sold on the new concept. On the other hand, sometimes fans are happy with a returning character, or, at least there's no backlash to it. Take a look at Máscara Dorada 2.0, who debuted last year, had matches alongside the former Máscara Dorada, and is now one of the most electrifying members of the CMLL roster. I think it really all depends on how the returning character is presented and how well they can win the crowd over. Anyways, any fears CMLL may have had about the new Kemonito being rejected by the fans can be set aside for now. During their match last night, Kemonito was getting some very solid cheers and very positive reactions, and Kemalito was getting the appropriate boos and jeers as well. And their match was actually really good. I didn't think they were going to put something on that was incredible or anything, but I think this safely passed my expectations. It'll definitely make my list for the best matches of November, and maybe, just maybe, it'll get included in my year-end CMLL list. Anyways, the new Kemonito is very agile and was hitting some pretty awesome moves, including a middle rope Swanton Bomb-S dive and an insane Tope Suicida, where I thought Kemonito was hurt, but he just got right back up. It looked like he landed face first, and I really got worried, thinking he was cooked, but he's much stronger than I was giving him credit for. Anyways, the match ended with a double countout after a brawl on the ramp. You see, they were brawling on the entrance ramp, and then the referee, El Olímpico, comes in to kind of start breaking it up. Kemonito runs under his legs, between his legs, spears Kemalito, starts beating him some more, and Olímpico calls it. CMLL was able to get a taste of what Kemonito and Kemalito could do and leave the result ambiguous enough that the feud doesn't end immediately. It did feel pretty logical. Maybe not the most satisfying finish, but it was, we'll get there, I'm sure. And if we don't, I'm very much happy with this just being an eternal rivalry in CMLL, or just seeing where we go from here. I also want to make a quick note here, a quick aside. Kemalito is not the best micro wrestler that CMLL has. He had been involved already in micro matches with other micro estrellas, but he never really shown as being the most technically proficient, the best like in-ring presence or anything like that. And that's one of the things that worried me going into the match. But during this match, I honestly felt like, yeah, he had been working, he'd been in the gym, he'd been training, because he was looking pretty solid. He was looking really confident in his abilities, and I have to give him props for that. He looked much improved from his previous outings. Now, while all of this is happening, the original Kemonito, who is now going by a slightly altered version of the name, spelled with a Q, Kemonito, is still making appearances, but nothing in the ring. He's mainly doing autograph signings and merch sales at events and shows. And on the same night as the debut of the new Kemonito, the original Kemonito was at the Crash's anniversary show. Since then, there have been no public statements or anything, no claims against the new Kemonito. I'm not sure what this could mean. Maybe an agreement was reached and the original Kemonito can keep using this altered name while the new Kemonito works in CMLL. I'm not sure, and only time will tell. One thing that I do want to make a note of, though, is how the new Kemonito suit is slightly different from the original, more famous suit. And this is, I think, partially because Kemonito, from when he first debuted, the original Kemonito from when he first debuted, the suit has kind of changed over time. I'm not sure if, this is part of that legal battle or anything. I'm not sure if maybe there's a distinction being made. But, I mean, you can just tell looking at the new Kemonito, even if you look at his appearance on Informa, where his suit had much shorter fur, much shorter hair. And then when he shows up in Arena Mexico, it's back to that long-haired suit. So I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe there's a street suit versus an in-ring suit. Who knows? Again, time will tell. This is just some small random anecdotes thrown here at the end. Anyways, the last thing I want to talk about before ending this video is the ethics of it all. And one of the main reasons people are having issues with this new Kemonito is a feeling of betrayal to the old one. It has been highly publicized that the original Kemonito has, been through some pretty hard times recently. The pandemic really hurt him financially because, there was not any shows being put on, so he wasn't getting any work. And he's also talked about wanting to retire for years now. And part of the big fallout with CMLL is because of differing ideas on what to do with the character. The original Kemonito wanted a public retirement where everyone knew he was finished, but CMLL allegedly wanted to quietly continue the character with a new person. And it's looking like the character will continue. And I'm not sure what's going to happen with the original Kemonito, but I obviously wish him very well, wish him the best, and hope something beneficial for him was worked out with CMLL. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and until next time, see you later.